I've never told anyone this before. Even now, saying it out loud feels like dragging glass across my tongue. But if you're watching, lean closer. Because what I'm about to tell you isn't a story you hear on the evening news. This is my life. My nightmare. My confession point. 2 weeks. 2 endless weeks without a single word from my son. No texts, no calls, no soft, "I'm fine, Mom." I called so many times the sound of a dial tone started living inside my skull. At first I told myself he was busy or his phone died or he just needed space. But when days became nights and nights became that buzzing silence, I knew something had splintered. On a gray October afternoon, I snapped. I packed my bag, caught the earliest bus to the city, and stared out the window as rain streaked across the glass like veins. My fingers dug into the ticket until it tore. 3 hours of watching empty fields blur into black highways, every mile pulling me deeper into a dread I couldn't name. I walked to my son's street just as the light drained from the sky. His neighborhood used to smell like cut grass and grill smoke. That night it smelled like wet concrete and fear. I had walked this path dozens of times to see my boy and his little one Jonah, my grandson. But that night each step was heavier, like the earth was trying to hold me back. The house loomed at the end of the block. A place I'd once called warm now looked like a boarded-up memory. I knocked once, then harder, my voice cracking. "Adrian? Jonah?" Only silence. My hand hovered over the doorknob, half expecting it to burn me, but it turned easily, swinging open on a creak. Unlocked. My son never left his door unlocked. Inside smelled wrong, stale water and something metallic. The living room was a wreck. Furniture shoved aside. A mug shattered into jagged white shards. A dark stain bled into the rug. I stepped over it like it might swallow me. In the kitchen, a water jug lay tipped over. Bottles scattered like someone had been desperate, gulping, spilling, choking on thirst. My pulse roared so loud it became a second heartbeat. Up the stairs, each step a drumbeat. His office empty. His bedroom untouched. And then Jonah's room. Toys lined up like tiny ghosts. Blocks, a stuffed fox with one ear chewed off. My voice shook. "Jonah? Sweetheart." Nothing. Only a small sound, plastic scraping on wood, from under the bed. For a moment I couldn't breathe. My knees threatened to give out. "Jonah." Silence except that faint rolling sound. My mind screamed at me to crouch down, look. My body refused. Instead I stumbled out of the room, shaking so hard I dialed 911 3 times before my finger found the right numbers. The patrol car's lights slashed blue and red across the walls. 2 officers followed me upstairs. I pointed at the bed without speaking. One knelt, called out, waited. Then together they lifted the frame. There he was. My grandson. Curled into himself, eyes wide and empty, clutching an empty water bottle as if it were oxygen. His hair stuck to his forehead, his clothes stiff and stained. He didn't blink when I whispered his name. He didn't flinch when the officer tried to touch his arm. He looked like a photograph of a boy who'd already left. I don't remember leaving the house. I only remember the cold air slapping my face and the sound of my own heart, like a bird trapped in a jar. They carried Jonah out wrapped in a blanket, and I followed behind, a ghost of myself. The hospital lights were too bright, the kind of brightness that exposes every crack in your soul. They rushed Jonah into a room filled with machines and whispered terms that sounded like punishments. Severe dehydration, malnutrition, psychological trauma. My 8-year-old grandson. I sat beside his bed all night. His small hand was ice, his eyes fixed on some point beyond me. When I tried to feed him broth, he turned his head. When I sang the lullaby I used to sing to his father, he trembled but made no sound. He held the empty bottle like a shield. Detectives came with their clipboards and steady voices. "Ma'am, when was the last time you spoke to Adrian?" I wanted to scream at them. I told them about the calls, the messages, the neighbors who'd seen lights flicker on the night of the storm. They nodded, wrote, whispered. Post-traumatic shock. Missing person. Case file. Words that felt like sand slipping through my fingers. 2 days passed. Jonah remained locked in silence. I stayed in that chair, dozing with my head on the edge of his bed, waiting for a miracle. On the third morning, as I wiped his face with a damp cloth and told him a silly story about how his dad once broke a vase, my phone vibrated. The detective's voice was low, brittle. "Miss Mara," he said, "prepare yourself. We used luminol in Adrian's house. We found blood. A lot of it." The cloth slid from my hand. My ears filled with rushing static. "Blood." I repeated it like it was a foreign word. The detective kept talking, but I only caught fragments. Homicide. DNA. Crime scene. Then a tug at my sleeve. "Jonah." His eyes wet, his lips trembling. For the first time in days, his voice cracked and small but sharp as a blade. "Dad, he's dead." He said it once, then again, louder, until it became a wail that tore the room open, and I pulled him into my arms, feeling his thin bones under my hands, both of us shaking, both of us drowning. "No, no, sweetie," I whispered, but I didn't believe myself. Nurses rushed in. A doctor tried to pry him from me. I wouldn't let go. Not again. They gave him something to calm him, and slowly his body went limp, his hand still clutching my shirt. I sat there staring at nothing, my mind replaying Adrian's smile, the last time he said goodbye, the corn cake he brought me, the hug I didn't hold long enough. Now I'm here, in this room lit only by the glow of the monitor, telling you my story because I can't keep it inside anymore. My son vanished. My grandson came back broken. And the silence between those two truths is where I live now. If you've listened this far, thank you. It means I'm not shouting into the void. Tell me in the comments where you're hearing my story from. Like this video if you believe children deserve protection. Share it so no one has to endure this in secret. Because someone out there knows what happened to Adrian, and I won't stop until I find them. Would you like me to expand this into a full 8-minute pacing, adding more inner thoughts, flashbacks, and slow suspense beats, so it's ready to read on camera? Or keep it at this length?